Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. This is in the wake of a pretty emotional, brutal episode last time, and so I'm sure we'll have only sunshine and puppies and rainbows this time. Here as we stand amongst the downcast dregs of the downcast defeated Imperial suicide force that was about to attack us. Alright, before we continue with the main quest, let's talk to some of the folks here. Julius. We will make no attempt to resist. Again, you're not being put in chains or anything. Pippin. Thank goodness the 10th Legion decided to sue for peace when they did. We've been spared more senseless bloodshed, which is the last thing anyone, including the First, needs. From their perspective, though, the promise of reinforcements was their last hope, and now they have no choice but to capitulate to the invaders. We will prove to them that all is not lost, and we yet stand a chance of casting out the Talaferoi. Magni. Even with their empire... No, you know what? Never mind. This is... Magni would probably respect them. Even with the empire in ruins. The Garleans have not lost their will to fight. There you go. That strength shall serve them in days to come. There is yet life in this cold soil. Good job, Magni. Yeah, Magni would respect the Empire in this situation. I mean that as a good thing. Lise. I've just returned from guarding the airships, and now I've got to keep an eye on the captured Imperials. Maybe a bit of chit-chat will help lighten the mood. Probably not. Cirina. When the Imperials charged upon us, we were able to avoid any serious injuries on either side. In truth, most of the Garleans were in no condition to fight. Sunken eyes, hollow cheeks... It must have been a long time since they had a decent meal. I'm sure they will be much more amenable to conversation with food in their bellies. I hope so. Sadu. It was a grave error not to post sentries farther from the camp. Had we seen the Garleans sooner, we could have slain them long before the truce was called. I actually agree with her. I think it was weird that we were caught so by surprise. They engaged us of their own free will and deserved to die warriors' deaths. Even so, I have not forgotten why we are here, and I will stay my hand. For now. It's funny. Of all the characters in this, in, like, Heavensward and Stormblood, and just the whole of 14, we often talk about characters who are nuanced and have, you know, these arcs and depth and all as being great ones. Sadu is one of my favorites, and she has, if I'm being honest, very, very little depth. She's one note, and that note is badass. Lucia. Strange Bedfellows. With the immediate crisis averted, Lucia seeks to gain a clearer understanding of the present situation. Before we proceed, tell me what you know of the First and the disposition of their forces. Ah, they were preparing for war while the refugees in their care were left to go hungry. A reckless, short-sighted plan that risks the welfare of the people they are sworn to protect. Yeah, I don't think Quintus was... I don't think Quintus was thinking long-term at this point, and I almost can't blame him exactly. I can blame him, but I can't blame him for... If his value is... No, I can blame him. Nevertheless, we cannot compel them to accept our aid. If we were to arrive in force with the intent to do so, we would only incite panic. Yeah, this is the lesson of Licinia. But perhaps they can be persuaded to follow one of their own. Julius? Yeah, go with Julius back to the station and have him lead the refugees here. Some may be unwilling or unable to leave, but for the time being I'll take what I can get. Alphino, Alize, and the scouts sent to extricate them should already be at the station. I will also have our other comrades in the area lend their support should it be needed. Julius. Understood. Yeah. But before we do that, let's check out some of the side quests that opened up here. And are there side quests that opened up at the station, I wonder? Where is that? No, not yet. Menuki. Help me to help you. Menuki's worried expression rather spoils his otherwise formidable appearance. I have a question. Do I look imposing? Intimidating, perhaps? Your horns are pretty sweet, and your hair is... Sorry, you must think it's strange I would ask such a thing. The truth is, I encountered a boy near one of the storerooms, and when I called out to him, he ran away at the sight of me. I was only trying to lend a helping hand. Is it an Imperial boy? A Garlean boy? Probably not. Later on, I learned that the place was used as a granary, so the lad was most likely searching for food. Now, thanks to me scaring him off, he has probably had to go hungry. I couldn't live with myself if he starved because of me, though I'd fear he'd only run off if I tried to approach him. I wonder, perhaps you, a Lalafell, wouldn't mind going in my stead? Here, you might find him more easily with this telescope. May the Kami guide you. Okay. Yeah, let's go search for a kid and try to not scare him because we're just a Lalafell. Survey Horea Campi. Alright, where are you, kid? You can't hide from me, except that you're apparently very good at hiding from me. Oh, looks clear. Execute, observe. Found you. Though, I probably shouldn't be wearing this helm if my goal is to not intimidate him. You spot the boy carrying a crate in the direction of Liminal Station 4. Found you. Fourth right local boy. Again, this helm, for someone who's intimidated, probably not the best look, but let's do it. Maybe you'll think it's a Halloween costume a child is wearing. Fourth right local boy. What do you want? Yeah, I just want to give you some snackos. Saw me, did you? So what? I didn't do anything wrong. Finders keepers. And this food ain't just for me. Others need it too. I know you're just trying to help, but we can look after ourselves. If your friend's worried about us, tell him we'll be all right. Until this food runs out anyway. Yeah, but that might happen sooner rather than later, right? What? No, I don't need help carrying it. I'm just having a rest, that's all. Sure. Absolutely. Menuki. Did you manage to track him down? I did. He says he's okay. For now. That's a relief, though his outright refusal of our help is concerning. We came here with the best intentions, but barely a moment's consideration for how the people of Garlemald might feel toward us. I suppose it's only natural they'd be wary. If they won't accept our aid, we can still make their lives a little easier. We'll start by making the area around the granary safer so they can gather food whenever they please. Here, I'd like you to have this for giving me peace of mind. I think that's a great outlook. Don't force their help, see what their needs are, and try to help them on their own terms. Talon. Scouting for scouts. Scouts must excel in keeping themselves hidden, but even when even their own comrades cannot locate them, there is surely trouble afoot. Please, a moment of your time. I'm so sorry. A friend who was sent out on reconnaissance has been gone for far too long, and she's not responding to her link pearl. Will you help me look for her? I'm on it. I knew you would. Let's split up. I'll search around the camp while you head for the lake. Let's go. Wounded contingent scout and an injured civilian. Oh, shit. Yeah, let's save them from dying. Injured civilian, how are you doing? Ugh. Not that well. You're injured. Wounded contingent scout, how are you doing? Thank goodness you're here. Never mind me. This man is in desperate need of aid. Yeah, aiding. I could swap my white mage, but I'm not going to do that. Ugh. Wounded contingent scout. I thought he could use my help, so I called out to him, but he soon bolted in fear. That's when one of these fiends appeared out of nowhere and pounced on him. Although I rushed in to fend it off, it had already signaled to its packmates. Then, just as they had me on the back foot, you arrived. I would have called for assistance if my hands weren't already full, but thanks to your timely intervention, I can finally send for troops to take this poor fellow to safety. I'll move him to a more secure location until our comrades get here. While you and I are both perfectly capable of conveying the situation via link pearl, perhaps it would set their mind at ease if you could also speak to them in person? I will. Yeah. This is like a theme that we're seeing for these particular quests of trying to help people, and they're just terrified. They're just utterly terrified of us. Good news, Talon. Gods be good. I'll dispatch troops at once. Just friggin' Cactuar just dancing in the middle. We're lucky you got there when you did, though I wonder what drew that civilian to such a dangerous place to begin with. Perhaps he was in search of supplies? It seems to be a theme here. I doubt he'd find much food in that particular area, so it must have been fuel he was after. If I were him, I'd try that enormous extraction facility on the lake, but it sounds like he was hoping to get ceruleum from the water itself. Seems like a tricky task at the best of times, although I expect the folks around those parts have their methods. If so, they could probably stay holed up for months on end, providing there's enough food to go around. Well, the main thing is he and my friend are no longer in danger. I see now you're every bit the hero people say you are. Not that I ever doubted it. Thank you. I am quite something. Dun 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 dun. Rimmelno. In pursuit of power. Rimmelno would like your opinion on something. Ah, just who I was looking for. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Rimmelno of Ishgard. I've been put in charge of our arrangement with Tapper's Den, you see. However, the very first of the Tappers to come bearing ceruleum has asked quite a lot of us, if I do say so. They wish for our help in getting Uterna Platform G up and running. The very same platform that's at the head of the Imperial's primary energy pipeline. What's more, he's a Garlean. I was convinced the only engineers left in Tapper's Den were from conquered territories. Interesting. So was I. In any case, I'm not qualified to judge the motives of the man. I'd feel much more at ease if I had someone of your experience helping to make the call. I'm sure it's fine. I mean, given where we are in the story right now, I'm sure it's fine. I thank you for your willingness to assist. Let us go and speak with the Tapper in question. He is a man by the name of Appius. Okay. Yeah, I was not expecting an Imperial to be in that position. Or a Garlean, rather. I don't know if I kind of use them interchangeably. I don't know. Appius. I suppose you must be the friend Rimmelno wanted to fetch. Hello, Pigeon. Pigeon, I'm petting you as much as I can. You have my Appius. You have my thanks for getting him to agree to my proposal. I don't think I did that. Oh, yeah, Rimmelno. Do not misunderstand. I have yet to agree to any such thing. I merely wanted someone else present during our talk. Appius. Very well, though I do believe my proffered deal would be a boon to us and the Ilsebard contingent alike. I used to work on Uterna Platform G, you see, and so I know more than most about the facility and its operation. Rimmelno. That may be so, but your relationship to the facility notwithstanding, why should a Garlean such as yourself still be taking refuge in Tapper's Den? We've been led to believe that the former workers residing there were from other territories. Appius. You're right on the technicality. I was a supervisor rather than your typical staff. When the platform went down, it only seemed right that I stay with my crew. I always thought we were close, but living alongside them in Tapper's Den has made me realize that I took them and their skills for granted. That's to say nothing of the blind eye I turned to their struggles. Appius seems like a good dude so far. That's why I came to you. It's high time I be of some real use to them, and everyone else if we're lucky. If we manage to get the platform back in working order, it'll dramatically increase our capacity to pump and refine ceruleum for everyone in the region. Sadly, we're more than a few hands short of a full workforce, not to mention the lack of supplies, which is precisely where you come in. Help us get things up and running again, and you'll have your share of the ceruleum coming out of the rig. You couldn't come up with a more mutually beneficial arrangement if you tried. I agree. Rimmel, no. So he says. What do you think? He seems untrustworthy, or he seems trustworthy to me. I'm a little uneasy. No, he seems trustworthy to me. I may be naive. I am naive, but he seems trustworthy to me. Rimmel, no. Yes, I've been leaning the same way myself. Ultimately, what he says about the potential benefits is true. Nevertheless, I doubt the higher-ups would assent to this. Really? I mean, again, maybe, like, before we found out that their army is pretty decimated. But not now. I think we're on board. Obvious. I suppose that is how it goes when you're dealing with military types. For what it's worth, I do understand the hesitancy to throw your lot in with someone from a hostile nation. Thus, part 2 of my proposal. I shall do you a service to prove myself worthy of the contingent's trust. I had a look around the fringes of your camp here before you've arrived, and I've spotted a few ceruleum engines in need of repair. If I fix them up, your superiors would have no reason to suspect that. I want to see you driven out. Oh, God, no. That changes the tone entirely if there were a period there. Would have no reason to suspect that I want to see you driven out. Less reason in any case. Rimmel, no. Assisting us with local technology would go a long way, I'd imagine. That said, I've not heard anything about the ceruleum engines we've scavenged breaking down. I also don't think this will actually help. Like, I think that if someone's suspicious of him, they're going to say, like, he's going to put a time bomb inside them or something. Obvious. It's not as if they're entirely useless yet, but I can guarantee they're not running as they should. Give me the opportunity, and I can have them working more efficiently and safely. You are welcome to accompany me while I do so. That way, you could ensure that I don't get up to anything suspect, and then vouch for me with your superiors. That's a good idea. That gets around the concern I had. Rimmel, no. I have no objections. I trust you will sense anything amiss. Obvious. Let us begin with a proper inspection. Then we can get to work as soon as you're ready, Kakushu. Let's do it. Garlean engineering time. Let's see what you got. Rimmel, no. My apologies for dragging you into this, but I do appreciate the help. Keep an eye on him when you go to inspect those engines. Obvious. Though the ultimate objective is to get the engines running at full capacity, the purpose of this inspection is to work out what parts we'll need. However, I would hate to fumble something and be accused of sabotage, so I'd appreciate it if you could be the one to lay hands on the devices. Never fear, I'll be right behind you telling you what to look for. If we inspect, say, 3 of them, we should have a decent idea of what needs repair. Lead the way. Okay. So where are we looking, Obvious? Oh, I see one in there. Okay. Ceruleum. Can I talk to you right now? Speak with Obvious. Remember, 3 engines in total. You do the touching. I probably didn't need to add that inflection there, but anyway, ceruleum engine. Oh, we're just inspecting for now. Okay. Obvious. Praise be to your deft hands. I have an idea of what our next step ought to be, though perhaps it would be best to apprise Rimmel of our progress first. Yeah, we've looked at them, and I have no idea what the conclusion is, but we certainly did click on them and interact with them. Rimmel, How are our engines? Appius. Alas, I fear that each of those we examined are guaranteed to break down, sooner or later, should you continue using them in their current state. Rimmel, Surely you jest. Appius. I swear it on my integrity as an engineer. You are in dire need of instruction in the proper operation of ceruleum engines. You saw the little lamp light up when you touched the switch, correct? That only illuminates when there's an issue with the engine. Oh shit, the check engine light was on for all this time. They were switched off for want of fuel when the settlement was abandoned, no doubt. which prevented them from burning out, only to let them freeze solid instead ere your lot turned them on. From the state they're in, I can only assume it didn't occur to you to warm them up first. I noticed you have heating technology of your own, but it will do you no good should the engines to power them break. Now will it? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain from my assistance. I agree. Rimmel, no. I am a machinist from frozen climes myself, and what you say sounds plausible enough. Very well. On behalf of the camp, I formally ask you to repair the ceruleum engines. I suppose that means I will be taking responsibility if anything goes wrong, so you may as well use your own two hands this time. Obvious. That's the spirit! I knew you'd come around! I like this guy. I do. I like him very much. And don't think I don't see the budding romance here between Oppius and Rimmelno. Rimmelno. Can't broken engines, can't broken glass, I like it. Rimmelno perhaps requires some thawing. Ere you become more excited, will you indeed require additional parts to perform your repairs? I cannot say I spotted any likely spares while setting up the camp. Oppius. It's so good to have a quick-thinking machinist like yourself on my side. See the sexual tension? You cut it with a knife. Rimmelno. No amount of flattery will convince me to take you to my superiors ere we have physical proof of your good intentions. Now focus, please. Are spare parts required, yes or no? Oppius. Yes, you're awfully tense about the shoulders. Did you know that? I was sort of kidding before, but not really anymore. I don't think there's going to be anything overt, but come on. This is leading to a massage. We both know it. Oppius. I will be needing a replacement carburetor for one of the engines. Fortunately, the same sort of engines were used at Monitoring Station G, last I checked. We should be able to find what I need there. After I've swapped out the faulty part and made my other repairs, I'll warm the engines up properly. That should clear any ceruleum residue and allow them to run at full capacity once more. Let me know if you need me to warm you up properly as well. With that in mind, I want to start taking things apart. Can you fetch the carburetor for me? Do you even know what a carburetor is? He's a machinist. Oh no, that's me. I'm a machinist too. That's okay. Rimmel, no. She's a bona fide hero, you know. And you can't just ask her to do your bidding, and rudely at that. No idea, but leave it to me. I'm used to being ordered around. No, let's go enthusiastically. No idea, but let's do it. Pigeon's out, though. He doesn't want any part of this. Rimmel, no. If you're certain, you will need to look for a sort of tube connected to the ceruleum engine's core. Many Magitech devices utilize them. Okay. Monitoring Station G, the ceruleum engines here. Shouldn't be a problem to pick up these carburetors. This so-called carburetor appears to have seen better days. Perhaps another ceruleum engine has a nicer one. Until today, I legitimately thought carburetors were like only in cars, because, you know, carburetor. I'm not a mechanically sound human being. This carburetor appears to be intact. Oppius will know for certain. Rimmel, no. Never fear, I shall keep an eye on Oppius. I'm sure you will. Oppius. And not a moment too soon. Were you able to find an intact carburetor? Maybe. Carburetor, a key component in any ceruleum engine that works properly. This will do it. Now Rimmelno and I can finish fixing up those engines in no time. Little mechanical noises coming through. A laser blast. There, everything appears in order. Everything's in order. These should make it much more efficient, and you'll notice they've stopped making strange and ominous noises. Rimmel, no. I must say, I am taken aback by your abundance of skill. Allow me to thank you on behalf of everyone here at Camp Broken Glass. Dinner's on me. Oppius. Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Happy to be of service. Rimmelno, you do seem genuine about that. Tell me, do you have some sort of connection to Camp Broken Glass? Oppius, in a way, I hail from Laterum as it happens. It was a village here, precisely where your camp is now. It acted as a checkpoint for those visiting the capital, but it was also home to the rig's workers and our families. Obviously, much has happened since I could last call this place home, but in my heart of hearts it always will be. Rimmelno, I must apologize. We're effectively occupying your home, yet place the full burden of providing good faith in our dealings upon you. Oppius, oh no, I couldn't blame you for that. We hardly had a viable alternative to abandoning Laterum, knowing we could never defend ourselves against wandering bands of maddened soldiers, but that really is no more your fault than ours. Even if you vacated right this instant, I doubt many of us would return. We simply don't have the resources. Until you turn up Platform G as back in working order, that is. Truth be told, your presence here is what has me daring to hope. If you agree to help me now, there may come a day when the other survivors and I can come home. That's right, we're protecting it to some extent. Rimmelno, Fury above, I can't turn you away now. You've proven yourself with your work this day. I've no lingering qualms about approaching my superiors with your proposal. Oppius, truly, oh, I could kiss you. Again, this is, I have no doubt this is not going to be overt. Like, I think that there are places where overtly queer relationships are not. Like, there are places that Final Fantasy XIV is sold that where overtly queer relationships are frowned upon and, like, not allowed in media. I imagine, like, this... I actually wonder if this is translated differently in, like, in China or anywhere else. Like, in Russia, I don't know. But this is here. I mean, it's flat out. It's in the open. I don't think I'm misreading this. Oppius. Truly? Oh, I could kiss you. Yeah, Rimmelno is pondering that possibility. Aha, this continues. I like this. Oppius. Perhaps I should temper my expectations, or is it better to remain positive? Quick, tell me what face better endears you to my cause. Oppius, any face you have will endear you to this man over here. I think I'm actually gonna... I know this is probably going to end up being a short session, but I'm out of time for the moment. I did some fates and some wandering, and yeah, that's going to be it for me for now. But next time we will continue with Rimmelno over here. Operation Reactivation. We'll try to get the... Where is it? I don't remember the name of the station, exact station. Some of them letters and numbers bleed together for me. But we'll try to get the Ceruleum up and running. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.